Join me as I dive deep into the final hours of a murderer's life and uncover what really happens before their last moments. The concept of a murderer's final hours is a haunting one, filled with a mix of emotions from fear and anxiety to despair and desperation. It's a time when the gravity of their actions finally sets in, and they're forced to confront the consequences of their crimes. When it comes to capital punishment, there's a moral and ethical dilemma that arises. Is taking a life, no matter how heinous the crime, truly justice, or is it simply state-sanctioned revenge? These are the questions that plague the minds of those who are tasked with carrying out the sentence and the ones who are on the receiving end. As the clock ticks down, the burden of guilt becomes overwhelming, and the weight of their actions crushes them. They're faced with the realization that their time is running out, and they'll soon be leaving behind loved ones, friends, and even enemies. In these final hours, the mind races with thoughts of what could have been, what should have been, and what's to come. It's a time of introspection, of regret, and of desperation, as they cling to whatever shred of dignity they have left. For some, the thought of their own mortality is too much to bear, and they shut down completely, becoming numb to the world around them. Others, however, try to make amends, seeking forgiveness from those they've wronged, and trying to find some semblance of peace. Behind the scenes, rituals and last-minute interactions take place, from the symbolic to the mundane. A last meal, often a request for something comfortingly familiar, is prepared and served. Family members, legal representatives, and even spiritual advisors pay their final visits, offering what little solace they can. It's a time of goodbyes, of apologies, and of unspoken words. The atmosphere is heavy with emotion, as the reality of the situation sinks in. The condemned person's senses are heightened as they cling to every moment, every word, and every touch. In those final moments, the focus shifts from the crime to the person, from the act to the human being. It's a time for reflection, for remorse, and for a fleeting glimpse of humanity in the face of inhumanity. I want to share with you a story that will give you chills. It's about a man named Dennis, who was on death row for 15 years. In his final hours, he wrote a heartfelt letter to his victim's family, expressing his deepest sorrow and regret for the pain he had caused. As the hours ticked by, Dennis became increasingly anxious, his mind racing with thoughts of his own mortality. He requested a final meal of fried chicken and mashed potatoes, a small comfort in the face of the unknown. In his last meeting with his attorney, he broke down, apologizing profusely for his actions. What's striking about Dennis's story is the complexity of his emotions. He was both regretful and defiant, remorseful and angry, all at once. His final hours were a whirlwind of conflicting emotions as he struggled to come to terms with his fate. In his final words, Dennis expressed a deep sadness, a sense of loss, not just for his own life, but for the lives he had destroyed. It was a poignant reminder that, even in the darkest of crimes, there's a human being behind the headlines. As we explore the final hours of a murderer's life, we're forced to confront the harsh realities of our own moral compass. It's a complex and uncomfortable topic, but one that deserves our attention. The stories, the emotions, and the moral dilemmas all serve as a reminder that, even in the darkest of places, there's a glimmer of humanity. Join the conversation by commenting below with your thoughts on capital punishment. Do you believe it's a necessary evil or a morally reprehensible act? Let's discuss. And if you're interested in exploring more about the psychology of criminals, be sure to check out our next video, where we delve deeper into the minds of serial killers.